I spent 10 minutes building something out of Lego. So I first grabbed this round part, and it gave me an idea. I take some white wedge parts off BB-8, I find this purple circle, and this tile, and I make this little eyeball. I then do an illegal move and put snot bricks inside of the wheel, and I connect the eye to it. I then grab rubber tires and heads. What are you doing in there? I make a head stick, and I cover them with tires. I connect our two sections together, and now we got an eye magnifying glass. I love it when I put it in front of my eye like this. I just spent 10 minutes building something out of Lego. So I first grab this light brick, I grab a buttload of cheese slopes, and I place them on the top. I grab this little piece, I add some brackets to the top. I then open this exclusive poly bag so I can grab these little legs. I then build these little wings, and I attach them on the sides. I then attach the light brick on top, and then I get distracted and I build this little turkey. I grab this little bracket, attach this little vent to it, then attach these eyeballs, and it works perfectly for a face. And now, introducing the robotic firefly. I spent 10 minutes building something out of Lego. So I first grab these parts, I slide this pin right in there, and I connect all the parts together like this. I grab these little tires, and I do illegal Lego building techniques and put them inside out. And I slide it right in there. I add this little front section, and this super rad steering wheel. I build this little robot minifigure, and then I get distracted, and I build this weird thing. I then build this little section, and I attach it to the back using a rubber band. I add these little blasters, and these little lasers, and now introducing my robot speeder bike. I built something out of Lego only using 10 Lego parts. First I grabbed my bin of cylinders and studs, and I found 5 of these beautiful yellow ones. I stacked them together and found me not 1, but 2 of these silver studs. I attached them to the end of this yellow thing. I found me a pink stud and I attached it to the end. Then I found me a cone, snapped it to the end of it. I found me one of these guys, and I slide it right on through. And now I can write down all the names of my friends. You won't believe what I just bought. I first got the Snow Trooper Battle Pack. I also got this Hoth Trooper set, and of course the Clone Trooper Pack. I got these minifigure parts, including a buttload of chickens. I got this awesome Tiger set that I definitely didn't get for this reason. I got this little motor. I also got this amazing GWP. And of course, the best for last, Ninjago Gardens.
I have a $10 Lego set. No one cares. I have an over $200 Lego set. Oh, sorry, there was me trying to care. I have this really cool mock that I spent a lot of time on. And I should care why? I mean, I have this really stupid build I made out of 2 pieces. I'll take your entire—
Let's build a Lego set. Whoop-pow! It's perfect. I spent 1 week building something out of Lego. So I first look up some reference material so I know exactly what I'm going to build. I draw out my design and I start the journey. I first build this colorful blob. I grab a buttload of white parts and a little bit of dark red. I build this little shell and I place the blob inside. I grab some plates and some tiles. I build these little panels and I place them on the front and the back as well. I then grab this little piece and I make this weird shape. I build this little section. I place it on the inside. I add this little hinge, the rest of the leg, and some little feet. I build a leg and another one as well. I then build this little box. I build these 2 little panels and I slap them on both sides. I attach this section to the back and some tiles on the top. I build this little bendy thing and place it on the side. I build these little eyes and I place them inside. I build these 2 little antennas, or is it antennae? And I place them on the sides. I connect the legs to the body and I attach this clear stand to the bottom. I add this little neck piece. I add the head on top, and now introducing BD1. Let's test cheap versus expensive interlocking bricks. And cheap won. Very cool. Let's build something using this Lego mystery pack. I open up the pack and it's the Moon Knight. So I first grab some bricks, plates, and tiles, and I make this little foundation. I grab a buttload of bricks and I'll place them inside the foundation. I then do some hilly rock work, and then I finish out the rest of the terrain. I place the Moon Knight character on the platform, but I feel like it's missing something. So I grab my gray and yellow parts and I build this alien robot laser tongue frog, and I place it on top. And now introducing Moonland Invasion. Click, click. Creak, creak. I spent 10 minutes building something out of Lego. So I first grabbed this little bike, I tore it apart, and I grabbed this little blue piece. I then grabbed this little Travis brick, and I attach a whole bunch of parts to it. I then grab a buttload of gold parts. I build this little thingy, attach it to the end, and then I get distracted, and I build this little hamburger. I then attach the blue piece from earlier on top. I grab some Lego rubber bands, and I wrap them around the bike. I then grab this little flower, and a buttload of trans clear parts. I build this weird thing, and now introducing my cyberpunk speeder bike. I spent 10 minutes building something out of Lego. So I first grabbed these two parts, and I was like, these would make some pretty good cheeks. I grabbed some plates, and I built this little thing. I then grabbed some headlight bricks, and add the cheeks to them, and add them to the sides. I build this thingy-a-bobby. I then add some little eyeballs, and this little nose, and I attach it to the top. I then build this little hat with hair, and I attach it to the head. I then start working on this body, and I even add a little belly button, and then I get distracted, and I build some Lego scissors. After placing the legs, I then grab some mixel joints and I start on some arms. After finishing these rad looking arms, I then oh no! And now introducing Derek. You'll never guess what came in the mail. Let's open this thing right up. No way, it's Lego. So the first thing I see is this tree monster. I then find this Star Wars piece. I find these awesome treads. I find Yoda's head, these two legs. I wonder where this set is from. Ooh, look at this little hand. Rawr. Is that a grappling shot? What is that? This feels like an iconic piece. This is a really cool helmet. Bro, at least try to put on the sticker. This is the coolest sword thingy ever. We got literally a boatload of boats, a super cool crane thingy. We got these awesome wings, this little bitty camera. No way! We got like more than a buttload of plates. Is this like a ninja star thing? Got a good amount of capes and cloths. And my favorite, this working Lego Duplo train. Let's build a Lego set. I first open up the box. I then rip open this little baggie. I grab a buttload of minifigure parts. I make not one, not two, but 3 snow troopers and the snowy scout trooper. I grab this little L plate. That piece then turns into this. I then add these 2 sections together. I then add a whole bunch of parts, including this fancy printed part. I add some little blasters, and I finish it off with some white parts. I then build this super cool blaster thingy-a-bobby. I build this super awesome Hoth barricade. We got a Hoth barricade, a blaster thingy, pew, and my favorite, this awesome speeder bike. Now who's gonna play with me? Let's build something using this Lego mystery pack. I open up the pack, and it's the Bard. So I first grab some plates and a buttload of snot bricks, and I build this fancy thing. I then grab some bricks and I fill in the inside. Next, I grab some dark green parts. I build these little sections, and I place them on the sides. After I finish the foundation, I then grab some brown parts, and I build this little tree. I then grab these yellow leaves, and I add them to the top. After placing down the tree, I grab some olive green grass stalks and these little mushrooms, and I place them all around. And now, introducing the Bard and his song. This song is called Stepping on Legos. Let's build a Lego set. So I first rip up the bag, and inside we got all these Technic parts. I start by grabbing this piece and these blue Technic pieces, and I stick them inside. I then add more Technic parts. I wonder what's in this box. No, it's stickers. This yellow part gets placed right here. I then build this little gear contraption, and it fits perfectly on the top. I then build this thingy-a-bobby, and I add this little chomper on the end. I add it to the front. I then add on some wheels, and now introducing this Volvo wheel loader. I spent 10 minutes building something out of Lego. So I first grabbed some slopes, and I grabbed this little guy. I grab these 2 ball joints and this little bracket, and I connect them to the bottom. I place a 1x2 plate on the end and a buttload of quarter tiles, and then I get distracted and I build this little guy. I then grab this little bracket, add some little eyeballs, I add this little nose, and of course a little tiny tongue. I add some cheese slopes to some snot bricks, and they work perfectly as ears. I grab this little rubber band, and I wrap it around the top, and now introducing my Lego dog.
What people think when you say you use illegal Lego building techniques?
I spent 10 minutes building something out of Lego. So I first grabbed this little Travis brick and a buttload of nougat parts, and I make this little section. I then make 2 of these thingies, and I connect them to the sides. I then grab more nougat parts, and I build this little thing. I then add this quarter tile, this circular tile, and some eyeballs, and then I get distracted, and I build this working Lego mixer. I then grab some snot bricks, and I place them on the bottom so I can connect the 2 sections together. I then add this little mouthpiece and some yellow parts on the top, and I add on some little legs. And now introducing the singing chicken nugget duo. I built something out of Lego only using 9 Lego parts. So I first grabbed this little Travis brick and my 1x plates, and I built this little thing. I then attached this 1x1 brick to the bottom and this tile on the top, and I grabbed these little eyeballs, and now introducing the baby chicken nugget. Let's build a Lego set. So I first open up this little baggie, and I start with this little circular plate. I then add some parts on top, creating a foundation. I then add a bunch of miscellaneous parts on top, and I really hope these colorful parts get covered up. I then grab this little piece, I add some parts on top. I then grab these 2 parts and add them to the bottom. After building this section, I connect the 2 parts together. I then grab this trans yellow piece, add this little eyeball, and attach it on the inside. I then round out the top by adding a bunch of slopes. I then build this little section, and it fits perfectly on the top. I then add these little legs. I then build a bunch of these tentacle thingies. And now introducing Garganto's Showdown. I spent 10 minutes building something out of Lego. So I first grabbed my bar pieces, and I grabbed this long flex tube. I then grab a buttload of slopes and grab these 2 little guys, connect them together using these 1x2 plates, and then I get distracted and I build this mudhorn from the Mandalorian. I then grab more slopes, and I add the big ones on the edges and the small ones in the middle. I then grab these inverted slopes, add some tiles on the end, and it fits exquisitely on the bottom. I add a 1x1 plate on the end and a 1x2 plate on the other. I add some cheese slopes to each side, and I add these little clips. And do you remember that flex tube from earlier? And now introducing the mustache on a stick. Here are my mocks that I brought at Brick Rodeo. So first we got my hamburger basket with fries, and of course the singing chicken nugget family. We have my cyberpunk speeder chase with a super cool portal. We have a working Lego mixer, my Minecraft bee on a flower. We also have my light up tensegrity build, and of course BD1. We also have my robot, the heart of the city, and last but certainly not least, the bard and his song. I spent 10 minutes building something out of Lego. So I first grabbed this bar and a buttload of cones and cylinders, and I slide them in there just like that. I then grab 2 of these 1x6 plates, add some studs to the top, and wedge it in between like this. I then grab 2 more studs, add them to the bottom, and at just about this moment, I get one of the best ideas. I grab a glizzy. I then add a clip to the end, as well as the glizzy, and then I slide 2 cylinders on each end of the glizzy. I then use illegal techniques and attach this clip, and then I attach this round piece by using friction from the cylinders. And now I can imagine flying away from home going to Legoland. I just spent 10 minutes building something out of Lego. So I first grab my wedge plates, I grab all of these little guys, and by attaching these plates to the top, I make 2 circles. I grab 2 of these brochachos, I add some smaller ones in the middle, and these 2 little eyeballs, and then I get distracted and I build Obi-Wan with his bionicle Zamer sphere tree. I then attach all the sections together, then I grab a buttload of macaroni bricks, I attach them all the way around, and after I finish placing those, I grab these 2 ball joints and a tire, and I place them in the back. I grab more ball joints, attach them on the edges. I build these 2 thingy-abobbies, connect them to the sides, and now introducing my minion goggles. Banana! Let's build something using this Lego Dots bracelet. So I first open up this little baggie, and I grab this Dots bracelet piece. I look at the piece one more time, and I get an idea. So I first strap the bracelet inside out. I grab my bin of clips. I grab these little guys, and I place them on the inside. I then build these 2 arms, and I attach them to the sides. I then grab more clips and some cylinders, and I make this weird thingy-abobby. I then add some teeth to the bottom, and this red thingy in the back. I add some eyeballs. I then grab a minifigure hand and a flex tube. I put them together like this, and I attach it to the back. And now introducing my Lego monster puppet. So one day I was scrolling on Amazon and I found this key pulley thing, and I instantly had one of the best ideas. I immediately bought it and I waited patiently for it to arrive. Once it did, I opened it and here it is. But you're probably thinking, what in the world am I doing with this thing? Well, I'm glad you asked. I grab a Lego brick separator, a Lego fan's favorite tool, and I turn it into a keychain. After that, I attach it to the key pulley and I have an elegant tool strapped to my body at all times. I can take Lego parts off whatever and I become the most swaggiest person fun at LEGO conventions, like Brick Fair Virginia, which I'm going to this year. I spent 10 minutes building something out of LEGO. So I first grab this 8x8 plate, I grab a buttload of bricks, and I pick out all the brown ones. I then start placing the bricks on top of each other, and I make sure they're all interlocking. I then build this wall with skinny bricks, and I attach it to the top. At just about this moment, I get one of the best ideas, but then I get distracted and I learn how to play the guitar. I then grab this little guy to add some tiles to the top, and I slide it in there. I then grab a buttload of green brick, and I stack the crap out of them, and I make this little cactus thingy-a-bobby. I then build this red brick clump, and I attach it to the top. I grab my LEGO Minecraft bee, and now introducing my Minecraft bee on a flower. But just like the Minecraft bee has a butt drawer, my LEGO flower also has a hidden compartment. I spent 10 minutes building something out of LEGO. So I first grab my minifigure parts, I grab these little guys, and I make myself as a LEGO minifigure. I then grab an 8x8 plate, I grab my light gray skinny bricks, and a few snot bricks, and I build this little corner. After adding the plate to the bottom, I then add these top shelves. I then build a Micro Republic gunship, a Benatar, a mini Millennium Falcon, a village blacksmith, and I place all of them on the top shelf. You might notice that this is looking a lot like what's behind me, but there's still a lot missing. I then add these 2 tables, my LEGO storage containers, I even build a mini version of my tensegrity, and some background wall decor, and now introducing my LEGO room. So I'm currently working on this LEGO Snowy Terrain mock, but I'm in a situation. I need an antagonist for my Snow Guardian to fight. I've tried evil minifigs, chicken nuggets, Humpty Dumpty, but nothing seems to work. That's when I remember 246 days ago, I wanted to make LEGO rock, paper, scissors. I made scissors, I haven't even given paper a thought, but I did start on rock, but I never finished him. I found him in my bin of disappointments, and I fixed him up. I added some dark gray parts, some red eyes, and I finished the arms. And now the Snow Guardian has an epic rock golem to fight. Stay tuned to see the rest of the build complete. Let's build something using this LEGO mystery pack. I open up the pack, and it's the Snow Guardian. I first grab a buttload of plates and some snot bricks, and I build this little foundation. I then add more snot and regular bricks to the top. I then grab my white parts, and I build these little sections, and I place them all the way around. Once I finish most of the foundation, I grab some flex tube and some foliage, and I build these 2 little trees. I then add some little branch piles. I then grab my dark gray parts, and I build this scary looking rock golem, and it fits perfectly right there. I grab my Snow Guardian, and now introducing the Snow Guardian versus the Rock Golem.
Order for Ethan The Artisan.
Oh, that's me. Thank you so much. Oh, man. There's our LEGO. I spent 10 minutes building something out of LEGO. So I first grabbed my brown parts, and I grabbed this little flex tube. Next, I grabbed some minifigure hats, grabbed this little trunk thingy, and I attach it to the end of the flex tube. I then grab not 1 barrel, not 2 barrels, but 7 barrels, and I slide them on the inside of the flex tube. At just about this moment, I get one of the best ideas, but then I get distracted and I learn how to play the piano. Next, I grab these big barrels, I stack them on top of each other. I grab my ice cream pieces, and I stack them like this on the inside. I'm having trouble to attach these 2 parts together, so I grab a LEGO rubber band, and I attach it like this. And now this is a great way to say that I'm addicted to LEGO. I spent 10 minutes building something out of LEGO. So I first grabbed my bin of circular things, and I grabbed these 2 dishes. I need to make them opposite of each other like this, so I grab a few of these parts and an axle, and I'm able to place them exactly how I want it. Next, I grab this LEGO bracelet, and I wrap it around the section like this. I grab a buttload of 1x2 tiles, I attach them to the top, and at just about this moment, I get one of the best ideas, but then I get distracted, and I build this LEGO ball. I then grab my dark turquoise parts, and I add some on both ends. I grab some red cheese slopes, and some little eyeballs, and now introducing my LEGO snail. You'll never guess what came in the mail. So first we got these LEGO sheep, which will look so adorable. Next we have these LEGO eyeballs, which will be for future character builds. We have some really cool miscellaneous pieces. We got some LEGO rubber bands that I paid way too much for. I also got some LEGO string that I have no idea what I'll use for. And since I took apart my ship in the bottle for my LEGO robot, I got these glass domes so I can build it back. And last but certainly not least, we have this LEGO motor, because I literally fried the one in my robot. He's not too happy right now. I spent 10 minutes building something out of Lego. So I first grab this little board, I grab a buttload of bricks and green plates, and I build this little foundation. Next, I build this little square, I slap it on top, I then grab a buttload of blue parts, like these curved slopes, thank you kind sir for the donation, and I place them all the way around. At just about this moment, I get one of the best ideas, but then I get distracted and I get on Lego Masters. Next, I grab my round bricks, and I build these little guys, and I attach them on all 4 sides. I then build these 4 walls, connect them on all 4 sides, and now this kid will either have the time of his life or break a leg or two. I spent 10 minutes building something out of Lego. So I first grab my black parts, I grab the 6x12 plate and a buttload of these black tiles, and I build this super cool looking foundation. Next, I grab my red parts, and I build this little L. I grab my yellow, and I make this little M. At just about this moment, I get one of the best ideas, but then I get distracted, and I make this Lego spaceship from the first episode of Lego Masters. I connect the 2 sections together, I set it down on the foundation, and look at that, it's the Lego Masters Lego logo. Oh yeah, did I tell you guys that I'm on Lego Masters? I spent 10 minutes building something out of Lego. So I first look up some reference material, so I know exactly what I want to build. I start out by adding tiles to a bracelet piece, but it just doesn't get the effect that I want. So instead of that, I grab these little treads, and I notice 1x2 tiles can connect on the outside. I connect these 2 parts together, and the groove in the middle allows the tread to slide over perfectly. Next, I grab this little gear, this little white piece, a buttload of red parts. I build this little thing that allows me to control the dial, and then I get distracted, and I make it on the news. And now, introducing my Lego Minecraft compass. I spent 1 hour building something out of Lego. So I first grabbed this axle, I use these little wheel parts, and I slide them on through. Next, I grab some tires, and I use illegal Lego building techniques, and I put them inside out. I slide them around the wheels, and I wrap this rubber tread around. I grab a buttload of red parts, and I build this little cube. I play around with some lettering, and it fits perfectly on the side of the cube. After that, I then get distracted, and I build this little kid's imagination coming to life. I then grab more wheels, more tires, and more axles, and I connect all those pieces together, making this thing. And now my microphone is complete. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. I spent 10 minutes building something out of Lego. So I first grab my bin of white parts, I grab a buttload of white plates and a few tiles, I start attaching them together, and I build this long looking stick. I then start adding white bricks on top of each other, and then I get distracted and I buy this awesome looking hat. I then build these 2 thingy-abobbies, and I connect them on the sides. I then grab my trans clear parts, and I grab 1x2 clear bricks, and I connect them on the inside. I then build these 2 thingy-abobbies, I connect them to the back, and now introducing my Lego 3D glasses. I spent 30 minutes building something out of Lego. So I first grabbed this little dome piece, and it got me thinking. I then grab some olive green parts, and I create an outline of an object. Next, I grab some lime green parts, and I start building the section to fit on the inside. I then add on this bottom piece, add some eyeballs and a mouth, and then I get distracted, and I build this giant Lego snowman. Next, I add the outline, I build this little section, and I attach it to the top. I then build some arms and legs, and lastly, I grab the dome piece from earlier and place it right in the front. And now, introducing my Lego avocado. I spent 4 hours building something out of Lego. So I first grab my orange parts, I start stacking them together, and I build this little thing which sparks an idea. I grab a buttload of white bricks, start stacking them together until I have this giant Lego sphere. I then build 2 more Lego spheres, I stack them on top of each other, and then I get distracted and I build this Lego gingerbread man. I then add some studs in the front, as well as some eyeballs and a smile. I then build these little thingy-abobbies, and I attach them on the sides. I then add this little scarf, and I attach the orange piece from earlier to the front. I build this little hat, and I place it on the top. And I finally get to build a snowman because it never snows here in Texas.